Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and seeing this headline plastered across every news channel. Government solves poverty. Everyone gets $1 million. You blink, check your phone. Yep, your bank account suddenly looks like a rapper's. $1 million, free, no strings. A text, you scream, you dance, you text your friends. Bro, we're rich, your friend replies. Me too. And your neighbor, also rich. Your dog's Instagram account, probably rich too, within hours. The world loses its collective mind. Lamborghini dealerships are mobbed. Starbucks runs out of oat milk. By 9 a.m., TikTok is flooded with I just became a millionaire videos. The economy has basically turned into the purge, but with Gucci bags. Now, fast forward to lunchtime. You stroll confidently into McDonald's, ready to order your celebratory Big Mac feast. Wait, what? Your $1 million doesn't buy what it used to. In fact, it barely buys anything. Welcome to inflation land. Population, everyone. See, when everyone suddenly has a mountain of money, but the number of things to buy stays exactly the same, prices go kaboom. The money didn't create new stuff, it just made existing stuff more expensive. It's like giving every Monopoly player a stack of $10,000. Sure, you all feel powerful, but suddenly Boardwalk costs $80 million. Let's be clear, this idea, why don't we just print more money, sounds logical the first time you hear it. It's even adorable. It's the kind of question a 5-year-old asks that secretly exposes how fragile the grown-up world is. But it's also kind of terrifying how many adults still think that way. Because here's the thing, money doesn't create wealth, it just measures it. It's a scoreboard. Printing more doesn't mean we score more points. It is just scribbling extra zeros because it makes us feel better. Imagine your favorite video game. You're losing badly, so you go into the settings and give yourself infinite points. Congrats, you won. But did you actually play better? No, you just ruined the game. And now no one wants to play with you. That's what happens when a government fixes the economy by printing cash. In theory, it's a miracle cure. In reality, it's like pouring gasoline on a campfire. Looks exciting for a second, then everyone's eyebrows are gone. Let's bring this down to kindergarten level. Literally, you're 5 years old. Every Friday, your teacher gives you 10 candies for good behavior. You can trade them for stickers, pencils, or the glory of being the candy king. Life is good. Then one day, your teacher decides to make everyone happy. You know what? 100 candies for everyone. Chaos. Kids start running around with sugar highs. The classroom economy implodes. Stickers now cost 50 candies. That shiny eraser you wanted? 200. You still have more candies. Sure, but your candies mean less. Congratulations. You just recreated inflation. But with toddlers and cavities back in the real world, the same logic applies, only now it's not stickers. It's rent, gas, groceries, and college tuition. When money becomes too common, its value drops. The economy doesn't get richer, it just gets noisier. Think about it like a pizza party. You've got 8 slices for people. Everyone's happy. But if 16 more people show up, you can't just print more pizza. You can slice the existing pizza into smaller pieces. Sure, but everyone ends up with less. Printing money is just cutting the same pizza thinner and pretending it's a feast. So, yeah, we could print more money. Technically, physically. But what we'd really be printing is disappointment and slightly more expensive Starbucks. Because the truth is, value doesn't come from ink and paper, it comes from the things people build, make, and believe in. Money is just the world's most complicated IOU. And when we start handing out those IOUs like candy, they stop meaning anything. So, next time you hear someone say we should just print more money, smile kindly like you would at a 5-year-old who just suggested living on the moon. It's a sweet idea, it's innocent, and it would absolutely destroy civilization by lunchtime. All right, let's shrink the entire global economy down to something everyone understands. Kindergarten, welcome to Mrs. Thompson's candy class. Population, 20 sugar-hungry 5-year-olds. Here, candy is money. It's the currency of dreams. You behave well. You get candies. You trade candies for cool stuff, stickers, pencils, or that sparkly dinosaur eraser every kid secretly wants, life is good. The candy economy is stable. Inflation is low. Everyone's blood sugar is slightly concerning, but manageable. Now one day, Mrs. Thompson walks in and says, "Kids, I've decided to make you all rich." And the classroom goes feral. She hands out 100 candies to everyone. Everyone, you'd think chaos wouldn't break out over gummy bears, but oh, it does. Jimmy, the class entrepreneur, who usually sells his sparkly erasers for 5 candies, suddenly realizes something. Everyone already has more candy than he does. Supply, infinite. Demand, 0. So Jimmy raises his prices. 5 candies becomes 50, then 100. Sarah, the sticker dealer, does the same. Within minutes, the classroom turns into Wall Street on a sugar high. And the kids start learning the cruelest economic truth of all. Money doesn't make you rich, value does. Let's pause there. This moment, when everyone is rich but no one can buy anything, that's inflation. It's when the number of candies increases, but the amount of stuff to buy stays the same. At first, it feels like a gift. Everyone's smiling, tossing candy in the air, making it rain like a toddler rap video. But soon, reality sets in. The erasers cost more, the stickers cost more. Even nap time somehow costs more. Kids who used to save their candies feel cheated. Kids who spent early feel smug until they realize that the new candies are worth basically nothing. Sound familiar? That's what happens when governments print too much money. You see, in our real-world classroom, adults trade dollars instead of candies. But the principle is the same. When there's suddenly more money floating around, but no new goods or services being made, each dollar buys you less. Now, if you're 5, that's just disappointing. If you're an adult trying to buy groceries, that's terrifying. Let's zoom back into the candy class. The inflation gets so bad that the students start bartering again. Jimmy trades an eraser for a juice box. Sarah starts accepting favors instead of candy. Like, I'll let you cut in line if you give me your seat during story time. The currency, candy, has lost its meaning. People are still exchanging value, but not using money anymore. That's what happens when inflation gets out of control. Money becomes so worthless that people just stop using it. In the real world, that's when economies collapse. In history, this has happened more times than Mrs. Thompson can count on her fingers. Germany in the 1920s, Zimbabwe in the 2000s, Venezuela just a few years ago. In some cases, people needed literal wheelbarrows of money to buy a loaf of bread. In our classroom analogy, that's like needing a dump truck full of Skittles just to get a single crayon. And here's the kicker, Mrs. Thompson meant well. She wanted her students to be happy, just like governments mean well when they stimulate the economy. But intentions don't cancel consequences. In economics, printing money doesn't solve scarcity, it spreads it. When everyone's a millionaire, nobody's special. When everyone has candy, it stops being exciting. The very thing that made candy valuable, its rarity, disappears. So, the kids learn their lesson. Mrs. Thompson sighs, collects the candy, and resets the classroom economy. The price of stickers drops back to normal. The sugar crash hits, and order is restored. Until next week, when she accidentally repeats the same mistake by handing out double candies. Just this once. Because, let's face it, we never really learn, do we? Every generation has its Mrs. Thompson moment. A government somewhere decides to make people happy by creating more money. And it always ends the same way, in sticky fingers, chaos, and regret. So the next time you hear someone say just print more money, picture a bunch of 5-year-olds drowning in candy, crying because they can't afford a sticker anymore. That's inflation. It's sweet until it's not. All right, enough about 5-year-olds and candy. Let us talk about asterisk, the supposedly responsible adults who like to believe we raise smarter than kindergartners. Spoiler, we're not. We just gave our candy a fancy name. Money. When you strip away the paperwork, the PowerPoint slides, and the shiny economic jargon. The world's financial system is just a grown-up version of Mrs. Thompson's class. Only now, instead of gummy bears, we're trading digits on screens. And instead of a teacher handing out more candy, It's a central bank clicking print on the money supply. Every few decades, we seem to forget the canny lesson. Something goes wrong, a recession, a war, a pandemic, and governments start saying the same thing. Don't worry, we'll fix it by stimulating the economy. Translation: asterisk let S throw more money at the problem and hope physics doesn't apply this time. Asterisk and for a while, it works. People spend more. Companies hire more. The economy feels alive again. Everyone pats themselves on the back. But here's a twist. That money doesn't appear out of thin air. Well, actually, it asterisk does asterisk. But it also comes with a catch. Asterisk asterisk that asterisk asterisk governments borrow, banks lend. People swipe their credit cards like they're signing autographs. The result, the world's running on promises. Promises to pay back. Money that didn't even exist until someone typed it into a computer. And it's like borrowing candies from future students who haven't even enrolled in the class yet. Now, let's visualize this. Imagine the global economy as a giant game of musical chairs, but with dollars, as long as the music's playing. Everyone's happy, dancing, trading, investing, pretending everything's fine. But when the music stops, when inflation hits, or people lose confidence, someone ends up without a chair. And that's when panic sets in. You start seeing headlines like, prices soar as government struggles to control inflation. Central bank raises interest rates. Economists say everything is fine. Probably. It's always the same story. The government prints money to keep people calm. Inflation rises. Then they panic and try to imprint it. Spoiler, that part's harder. You can't just asterisk and print asterisk money any more than Mrs. Thompson could hand out 2,000 gummies. The problem is psychological as much as mathematical. When people expect prices to rise, they start acting like prices will rise. Buying now, hoarding goods, demanding higher wages. And the very act of asterisk expecting asterisk inflation creates more inflation. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy powered by anxiety and Amazon Prime. Now, in theory, central banks exist to manage all this. Their job is to keep the economy steady, not too hot, not too cold. They raise interest rates when inflation spikes and lower them when things slow down. Basically, they're the grown-ups in the room, except the room is on fire. Everyone's yelling, and half the grown-ups are politicians running for re-election. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Printing money is easy. Stopping is political suicide. No government in history has ever lost votes by giving people free stuff. But plenty have lost them by taking it away. So, we repeat the same cycle. Print, inflate, panic. Repeat! And we always convince ourselves asterisk, this time asterisk is different. This isn't inflation. It's transitory. This isn't debt. It's investment. This isn't panic. It's quantitative easing. It's all just creative rebranding of the same old candy flood. Meanwhile, regular people feel the pain. Groceries get expensive. Rent climbs. Savings shrink. The rich get richer because their assets inflate faster than prices, while everyone else is left wondering why life suddenly costs 30% more than it did 2 years ago. Sound familiar? Yeah, that's 2020 through. Well, now. So, the next time you hear a politician promising to stimulate the economy, just picture a classroom full of adults covered in candy wrappers, swearing this time they've asterisk totally figured it out. Asterisk they haven't, because the economy isn't broken. It is behaving exactly how it always does. When people think they can cheat math, money's not magic, it's trust. And once that trust melts, no amount of printing will bring it back. So, yeah, welcome to the real-world version of the candy story. Same chaos, just more zeros. So, when governments start printing money, who actually wins? Spoiler, it's not you. Let's start with the winners, the people who already have stuff. When the value of money drops, the value of things, houses, stocks, gold, yachts, usually goes up. That is inflation as dirty little secret. It quietly transfers wealth from people who have cash to people who own assets. If you already own a house, inflation makes it look like your house is worth more. If you're rich, your portfolio magically inflates too. You didn't work harder, you just existed near the printer. Meanwhile, the government gets a bonus. All that old debt it owes, it's now worth less in real terms. It is like owing someone 10 Skittles and paying them back in the melted ones you found under the couch. Now for the losers, everyone else, if you live on a fixed income or your paycheck doesn't rise as fast as prices, inflation eats you alive, your savings lose power, rent climbs, groceries mock you. Even your emergency fund, that little cushion you worked so hard for, quietly shrinks while you rain out looking. And the cruel part, inflation punishes responsibility, the savers, the planners. The cautious ones, they lose the most, while debtors, risk takers, and those who already hold assets come out ahead. So when politicians say a little inflation is good, remember, it's not your little inflation, it's theirs. The rich own the board game. The government prints the money, and the rest of us are just trying to afford another round. Here's the question every economist secretly cries into their coffee about. If printing money always ends badly, why do we keep doing it? Simple, because it feels good at first. When a crisis hits, a war, a pandemic, a market crash, printing money is the easiest, fastest way to make everyone stop panicking. It's like giving the economy a shot of espresso or maybe adrenaline. People spend more, companies breathe again, politicians look like heroes, and for a while, it actually works. Unemployment drops, stocks rise. Everyone's clapping, but underneath, prices start to creep up, debt piles higher, and we all pretend not to notice because no one wants to be the buzzkill who says, hey, maybe we shouldn't be handing out free trillions. Then come the elections, and here's the dirty secret. Voters love free stuff. A politician promising stimulus checks for all will always sound better than one promising discipline and higher taxes. So we keep choosing short-term comfort over long-term stability. It's not an economic problem anymore. It's psychological. Humans are addicted to the quick fix. Printing money lets us delay pain. And like any addiction, the withdrawals get worse every time. Eventually, the hangover hits. Prices explode. Savings crumble. Trust evaporates. And suddenly we're all wondering who turned off the music. But by then, it's too late. The people who caused it are retired, rich, and giving TED Talks about economic lessons learned. And we're just waiting for the next guy to hit print again. At first, you barely notice it. A coffee that used to cost $3 is now $3.50. Gas creeps up a few cents. Rent jumps just a little, you shrug. That's inflation, right? Normal, then one morning, normal stops feeling normal. Groceries double, rent triples. Your paycheck, still pretending it's 2019. Welcome to the inflation spiral, the point where money stops being a tool and starts being a joke. You see, once people lose faith in money, the whole system cracks. If you think prices will rise tomorrow, you rush to buy today. That rush creates shortages. Shortages push prices higher. And suddenly, everyone's racing to trade paper before it turns into wallpaper. That's not a metaphor. It actually happened. In 1920s Germany, people used wheelbarrows of cash to buy bread. In Zimbabwe, $100 trillion notes couldn't buy lunch. In Venezuela, shopkeepers weighed money instead of counting it. That's what it looks like when trust dies. The government scrambles, price, controls, rationing, new currencies. But none of it matters because the problem isn't numbers, it's belief. Money only works when we agree it's worth something. Once that faith evaporates, it doesn't matter how many zeros you add. And the cruel irony, it doesn't collapse all at once. It's slow, then sudden. One day, you're complaining about expensive coffee. The next, your savings are gone, your rent's doubled, and people are trading shoes for bread. Every empire, every currency that's ever fallen, it all starts the same way. Too much candy, too many promises, not enough reality, and when it all falls apart, we call it a crisis. But really, it's just math collecting its debt. All right, we've laughed, panicked, and maybe cried a little. So now what? What do we actually do about all this? Step 1, stop pretending money is magic. It's not a cheat code. It's a measuring stick. Printing more doesn't create value. Building things, innovating, and producing does. That means governments need to spend less time stimulating and more time disciplining. Sounds boring. I know, no one campaigns on fiscal responsibility. But the truth is, boring keeps civilizations alive. Exciting economies usually end in fire. Step 2, make stuff that matters. Every dollar should represent something real, a product, a service, an idea that improves life. When a country invests in education, infrastructure, and innovation, it creates wealth that printing presses can't. Step 3, don't be the candy kid. Save, invest, own assets. Because inflation punishes cash but rewards ownership, you can't control the printer, but you can decide what you hold when it starts running. And finally, step 4, stay curious, understand how money works. Because the less you understand, the easier it is for someone else to sell you free. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The world will probably keep printing money. Politicians will promise miracles, people will cheer, and you'll say,